Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Teesside University's Support and Progression Teachers Series 2021. I'm really delighted to welcome you to the first session. My name is Will Jones. I am the Student Recruitment Manager here at Teesside University. I've got a very brief overview of the student recruitment team to go through, but before I do that, I just wanted again to welcome you to our support and progression series that we're holding this year, aimed at teachers, advisors, tutors, anybody really working within an educational setting. The programme that we've got over the next couple of weeks with a variety of talks from both internal and external practitioners to the university, I think looks really good. Will be of great interest, I'm sure, to a number of you. We've got talks that cover particular certain subject areas that may be of interest to people teaching on those courses in those areas. We've got sessions that should be applicable to many different types of practitioner in education that are more CPD focused, maybe looking at progression and development. We've got things looking at the digital space and obviously online learning, given the current climate that we find ourselves in. We've also got a number of talks and sessions throughout the 2 weeks where you can meet members of my team at the university and get to know them a little bit more, and we can discuss how we may be able to work with you and your students and support you in your day-to-day roles. So I hope that you enjoy the sessions that we have available. You are more than welcome to book onto them. The booking forms will be open up until the day of each session over the next 2 weeks. And what we're also looking to do is record the majority of the sessions that we are running. Appreciate fully that there's a lot of work going on at the moment in schools and colleges, and time is very precious. So if you can't join us on the day live for the session, we are looking to make a lot of the sessions available via recordings that we can push out and make you aware of to watch in your own time. So really hope that's useful, and again, thank you very much for attending any of the sessions. I'm now going to spend maybe 10 or 15 minutes giving a bit of an overview of the student recruitment team and the setup that we have here at Teesside, and hopefully for anyone who is new to working with us as an institution, this may be a useful overview. I'll kick off just with a very brief few points on the university for anybody that is unaware of Teesside University or maybe hasn't had as much to do with us in the past. We are a modern university based in the heart of Middlesbrough, which is in the Tees Valley in the northeast of England. We currently have about 18,500 students, and this goes across all of our varying courses from foundation degrees through to undergraduate and postgraduate study. That includes full-time students, part-time students, home and international. So that is our whole student cohort. We have a diverse cohort of students with a diverse range of subjects and qualification offerings that we provide. We are fairly vocational in our focus. We are very industry focused in everything that we do, wanting to support and develop our students into the next step of their careers once they graduate from our university with a degree. And therefore, the courses that we offer, like I say, are fairly vocational. They're very focused on the skills and the knowledge that would be needed to move into various industry sectors. As a result of that, the campus that we offer, the facilities that we have are very good, very practical based, again, trying to replicate a lot of what students may go on to find in industry and develop those skills so that they can move into those roles and feel comfortable with the skills and the knowledge that they've learned from us. Also, just a kind of a few key things of what's going on at the university now or more recently, just so that you're aware. The university has put a lot of money into the campus, the redevelopment of the campus over the last 5 or 10 years, and continues to do so, and has a plan for the next few years as well to continue to reinvest money into that and make it the best campus that we possibly can for our students. To date, that's just under £300 million that's been spent, and there are, like I say, a number of other projects ongoing over the next few years to continue that reinvestment and that development of our campus. A couple of more recent ones, the Net Zero Industry Innovation Centre has recently just been approved, and this is a facility that is going to be of great use and interest to those in and around the university, and very much looking at the environmental movements and the importance of what all institutions and all companies can be doing to support each other with the global impacts of things like climate change and trying to reduce our carbon footprints and things like that. The Cornell Quarter accommodation is our newest accommodation block to have opened just over a year ago now, and offers kind of obviously high-end student accommodation still at affordable prices, and we continue to invest in our accommodation that is all based just on or within close reach of campus for our students. Our Student Life building, again, has also recently opened within the last year or so and sits in the heart of our campus in Middlesbrough. This building is really to pull all of our support services for students together into one place, as well as all of the academic side of things. Obviously, the support side for our students is vitally important, and the work that has gone into creating this Student Life building, we hope makes that support very easy and accessible to students, and allows them to get that through their time at the institution. And also very recently, we've just been announced as the first European university to have an Adobe Creative Campus accredited. So the use of digital technology within our teaching, within our support mechanisms, and just generally across the university and the campus is there to be seen. And we've worked with Adobe to develop a suite of offerings that our students will get that allows us to be an accredited creative campus. With regards to the student recruitment team, giving a bit of an overview into the sector and the area that I work in and I look after. There are obviously a number of different ways that student recruitment teams, outreach teams, whatever you may want to call them, can be organised at various different institutions. This just hopefully gives a bit of an overview of what we look after. So as a student recruitment team, we look after everything through from pre-16 engagement right through to promoting our postgraduate offer as well. We work in the home and UK market. We have an international recruitment team that work outside of the country, but we focus on home UK student recruitment. We include widening participation, we include our outreach side of things, as well as what might be classed as more student recruitment, all within the same team. So we see a very diverse audience in our work. We look at full-time and part-time students, and as well as obviously prospective students. As you can see there, we work very closely within our role with teachers, advisors, anyone else within the educational space that may be helping young people to try and make a progressional choice. And we try and work closely with parents, carers, guardians as well, again knowing the influence that they may have and the support they may need to help their young people through that particular time. Kind of again as well, very briefly outlined the type of structure that we have within the team. So we have myself as a student recruitment manager, and one of my colleagues who is a recruitment and outreach manager overseeing the team. And then we have varying kind of levels and scales of individual within the team. But we have coordinators who have a slightly more focused agenda, either looking at local or national audiences and schools and colleges that we want to work with and help their students with. We have an individual working more closely with part-time students, postgrad students, and then a link to our admissions team and marketing team that we work very closely with, having a coordinator that sits between those three elements as well. We have recruitment assistants in the team who then are assigned to our particular internal schools and faculties that we have. So as you can see there, for example, the MEMA School of Art and Design or Teesside University Business School. These individuals will work closely with our associate deans and academic staff within those particular areas. And we'll be looking to work with subject tutors within schools and colleges to make that connection and try and offer support in that way, whether that's particular taster days or subject-inspired kind of lectures, programs that we can deliver in that kind of way. We also have a number of graduate interns working within the team, and as you can see there, our student ambassadors at the university are obviously key to what we do. We have a large pool of student ambassadors, so current students at Teesside that work with us to help us work with young people and promote what we have to offer. So we have members of staff looking after the ambassadors that we use as well, and look to use them in as much of the recruitment and outreach work that we can. In terms of some kind of objectives that we have within the team, just to give an idea of what we try to focus on. So we are working from initial engagement with a prospective student, which again could be at a very young age, right through to the enrolment when they actually enroll with us on campus and then start their studies. So our team spans across all of that kind of sector. And again, as I've mentioned, we have a very close working relationship with our admissions team, with our marketing team, all under the same department. So we're working with the full kind of spectrum of prospective students. We look to provide insight into the opportunities and the benefits of higher education in general, and that's probably one of the initial start points when engaging with young people as their first kind of step into this type of thing. And ultimately, we are looking to provide information to help them reach an informed decision for what the right step for them is progression wise. We clearly promote the offering that we have here at Teesside University, whether that's the courses in particular or the facilities that come with that. It's the support and the other things that students can receive as part of a Teesside University qualification, as well as the academic offering. And the key USPs, some of which I touched on at the start of the presentation, we show people what we have to offer as an institution, which we're very proud of, and hope that that may be of interest to them when they're obviously looking to decide, what their next step after further education may be. With regards to people like yourselves who may be watching, people that are working in education, we obviously look to establish and foster relationships with schools, colleges, and educators within that space to support you in your role and ultimately to support your students. But whatever we can do to support you and help make that interaction and that time with the students as beneficial as possible is something we're really keen to do. And ultimately, we are looking to help students make the right progression choices for them. We know that the university may not be for everybody. We know that other institutions may be a better fit. What we want to do is allow students to see all of the information, see our offering, and ultimately make the right choice for them so that they can go on and succeed in their progression. So in terms of general offerings that our team could provide, and we have a very varied team with excellent experiences, a range of skills and great knowledge. We will often provide a number of talks and days and taster sessions around the sorts of things you may be aware of. But why to choose higher education in the first place? Clearly then a heavy focus on UCAS and the process that students have to go through, the element of personal statements or interviews, the general application process, and helping guide them through that time and helping them make some decisions. Clearly, student finance is something that prospective students, parents always want to know about, so we cover that a lot in a lot of the offerings that we as a team will provide. And then we can provide kind of anything that you think may be of use to students, depending on where they are in their educational journey, whether it's revision tips or meeting them at UCAS fairs, attending school and college run higher education fairs where we can speak to them either individually or in groups. And similarly, the work that we do, we obviously, as I've mentioned, very aligned to our internal schools and faculties. And from a subjects kind of offering, I guess, we have open days, taster days, summer schools, all of which will allow students to get a flavour and a feel for varying subjects that we offer at the university and allow them to build their knowledge and understanding of what that means up. We have various progression schemes. We run teacher events like obviously the series that we are currently offering now to try and engage with educators as well as prospective students. So our full range of these are obviously only just a few kind of key points really of what we can be offering. In terms of the work we do, that stretches to the vast majority of different roles within the educational space. Obviously, the likes of subject tutors, as well as heads of department, principals, senior leadership teams, through to trainee teachers and people that are new into the role, as well as staff that may have a more specialist agenda, looking after SEND students or looking at widening participation, whatever it may be. We work with students themselves. We've worked with a number of institutions who have student councils or reps that we've done some work with in some way. We work with the marketing teams, the data teams within schools and colleges, again helping them within their role and helping kind of us interact with prospective students and get our message out there. So it can be a full range of different kind of individuals within the education space that we work with and are happy to work with. It wouldn't be right of me to obviously not reference COVID-19 and the space that we currently find ourselves in. Unfortunately, we had to cancel the sessions that we were looking to do as part of our Support and Progression Conference this time last year as COVID had recently struck. And now kind of a year into it, there's obviously a lot of things that I think everyone, including ourselves, have certainly learned and adapted to, and will no doubt continue as part of kind of the offering really moving forwards. We've obviously tried to, as a student recruitment team and an institution, offer a lot of online activity. for prospective students and for teachers to use and to see over the time. It might be slightly more limited in what we're able to do. You know, it's clearly less interactive and less practical, and we'd love to have people on our campus to come and see what we have and to come and use some of our equipment in the taster days. But what we have found is actually that by using online appropriately, we probably do have a wider reach to people across the country who may not find it as easy to nip into the campus and see what we have to offer. So that's obviously one of the big learning points. We've been very clear throughout trying to continue to provide teacher resources and things that can actually benefit yourselves as educators within the classroom or within the college space, understanding the pressures that everyone within schools and colleges has faced over this time of COVID, being in at times, teaching and learning from home at times. We've tried to make a real effort to see what it is that we can provide, whether it was resource material, lesson plans, things that can be used, during tutorial time, things that students can access in their own time. We've made an effort to try and make sure that we listen to what teachers are asking for and adapt things to that situation appropriately. And that moves on to the idea of this Netflix generation that we certainly see now in young people, that they are very much used to accessing and downloading information in their own time in this kind of Netflix way. And therefore, whilst we might offer live sessions that people may want to attend, we also have to be and have been very mindful of making sure that resources, that making sure that services are available to people as and when they choose to engage with them. So lots of recorded material, videos, again, things that can be downloaded and used. We have services through our web pages where students can chat to us at any point in the day, whatever works with them. So lots of kind of flexibility there in terms of being able to address the audience's needs, and clearly the next point there, attention span, is one of those. I think it's probably fair to say that we are all certainly kind of exhausted from the online world that we found ourselves in, and therefore have to be very mindful of, whilst we still need to continue to use the online space to interact with people, we clearly need to tailor our the way in which we do things appropriately for that format, and we have very much tried to do that as we've moved throughout the last year of lockdown. And again, it's just continued to highlight kind of the importance of making sure that our offerings are relevant, and we understand that every institution that we work with may be very different anyway, but this has clearly been highlighted more just in the way that people have adapted and worked differently with COVID and with lockdown, with different timetables, different structures, different ways of working, different priorities. We've made sure that we've tried to take that into account when working with schools and colleges, and adapted our offerings appropriately to make them somewhat more bespoke, understanding the platforms that may work best for that particular audience, the timings, etc. So again, that's certainly one of our key things to take forward, I think. And in terms of moving that forward, and for anyone who hasn't really worked with us before, this introduction to ourselves as an institution and a student recruitment team, we really want to develop the working relationships that we can have with yourselves as people that work in schools and colleges and within education. We want to work with you and not for you. And by that, I mean that we don't want to kind of impose certain offerings that are not appropriate. Again, to go back to the previous slide, we want to understand your institution, understand the students that you work with, understand what is going to work better, what we can do to adapt that and provide a more bespoke approach that will ultimately have more effective and quality engagement with students, to kind of achieve the overall objective. How can we help you? And what do you as staff or do your students need? And again, if we can understand that, if we can work together, then it allows us to tailor things that we know are appropriate and effective. We really do want to kind of look at long-term partnerships and relationships with schools and colleges. We have a number of those already with lots of institutions out there, and when we get to work with new institutions or new members of staff, we really do want to kind of continue to foster that relationship and develop it longer term as we go. This may vary, I guess. We may have more interaction year upon year with different institutions, but we're always here, and we're always kind of looking to continue to develop what we do every year that we work with yourselves. So that may be annual activity, it may be planning well in advance, it may be kind of looking at longer term kind of support and progression, it may be responding kind of more short term to some of the immediate needs and situations that we find ourselves in. But we always want to continue to develop what we can do, and very keen and happy to kind of work with people in that kind of way and look to pre-plan. And that, although we think we have a good understanding of what we offer and a good skill set within the team, we're always kind of wanting to continue to understand what is going on in your particular environment, what things are developing there that might inform us and help us with how we can develop projects or engagement activity, and maybe we need to look at slightly different ways of doing things from time to time. So it's always really important, I guess, this idea of having a relationship with people that work within the education space. We're not just offering one service. We really want to work together to allow us to all kind of achieve the successful objectives we're looking at. And I guess really just to finish off again, to give people a bit of an idea of where we are, as well as obviously the kind of the norm of offering kind of student recruitment activity, and clearly trying to continue to adapt to what we may see come with the government roadmap currently, and hoping to return to some face-to-face activity sooner rather than later. There's obviously a number of other things that we kind of continually focus on. Some of the things at the moment, again, looking at how we continue to offer online offerings moving forwards, even when we are back to some level of normality. Clearly online does still have its benefits, and is something that we should still continue to use and develop as we go post COVID or lockdown kind of space. We're certainly kind of working on T-level support quite a lot at the moment. Obviously, the introduction of T-levels, the rollout through some of the pilot schemes more recently, and the introduction coming as we move forward will continue to grow. We are very keen to work with institutions that are looking to offer T-levels, or already are starting to offer T-levels, in the way that we can support you both in terms of the offering that you have, and also how we can support, again, those students for their progression to the next step after a T-level, whether that is moving into higher education or another space. So really keen to kind of work with institutions on that kind of area at the moment. And similarly, the Gatsby benchmarking, which has been around for a little period of time now, but again, continues to highlight the importance of this joined up approach between all of us, really, where we can all, help each other out in what we can do to allow, all institutions to be offering and meeting those Gatsby benchmarks, providing their students with an appropriate careers and progressional focus throughout their time in further education. Career and employability focus is always key to us, but I think again, over the last year with COVID, been highlighted more so than ever, with students obviously, more than ever questioning the importance and of employability and what a degree and their time at university could provide for them. It's key that we continue to show them that message, and I think it's key that we really try to support them and motivate them post a lockdown world, when things may seem a bit doom and gloom, to show them that actually there are a number of careers and sectors that are still thriving. Talk to them about what is possible, globally, but also what is kind of happening and developing close to us in the Tees Valley, with lots of exciting opportunities for our students and then our graduates to kind of take part in, and lots of opportunities for recruitment. Curriculum enhancement support, again, I think has been highlighted over the last year, with the importance placed on actually just being able to provide some level of teaching and support to students undertaking their exams shortly in that kind of period. We've made sure and spoke to a lot of colleagues in schools and colleges about how we can support that curriculum that has to be delivered, how we can enhance it, as well as providing them an insight into what we might have in an institution or higher education in general. How can we use some of our expertise in certain subject areas to really help enhance that and help them achieve their goal of successful grades and qualifications as well. And again, further teacher and staff support. We've all seen the stresses that the last year has put on everyone, and I think we have come together very well to support each other, and we want to continue to do that. Continue to see how we can support not just the students but the staff within institutions. What can we do for you that might make your life a bit easier? What can we do that can allow us to support you in supporting your students? So we're really keen to work with people continually moving forward, and continue to develop the offerings that we have, and see what kind of this post lockdown kind of space brings as well in the short term, but use some of those kind of key lessons, and use some of the things that we're really kind of engaging with now to continue to develop what we can do moving forwards. So I hope that's kind of okay as a very brief overview of what we offer as a student recruitment team here at Teesside. As I've mentioned throughout, our work is to work with prospective students and staff within schools and colleges. So we always, welcome people getting in touch. We will continue to promote the opportunities that we have through the likes of our web pages, our social media, our direct communication with contacts. But please always do feel free to get in touch either with myself or the recruitment team in general with some information there for you. We're always keen to chat. We're always keen to see what we can do and to continue to support yourselves and support your students. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the support and progression series that we have for you over the coming weeks. Like I say, if you don't manage to get into certain sessions, we will be hosting most of the recordings up online for people to view afterwards. And we hope that again, kind of following the series, we will continue to look at some online offerings for teachers and hopefully get back to having some in-person kind of contacts soon as well. So please enjoy, please get in touch if there's any queries with everything. And thank you very much for your time today.